Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have something a little bit different. Today we have a vintage and a relatively rare Seiko Speed Timer. Vintage being of year 1970, I believe. December of 1970 production. Those of you that are not familiar with the Speed Timer, these are automatic chronographs that Seiko made from the 60s up until I believe the 80s. Very, very cool watches. This particular one is a 7017-8000, which to my understanding is a very rare version of it. The more common one that people may have been familiar with is what's called the 6139. It looks very similar to this, except at 6 o'clock there's a 30-minute counter, I believe. It'd be like right down here. As you can see, this has chronograph pushers, but there's no totalizer. And you may think that what's going around is actually the second hand, but it's not. It's actually the hand for the chronograph. And a couple things unique about this particular one. As I said, it's relatively rare. Reason that, again, that it's rare is that it does not have any totalizers on it. The 6139 and the other derivatives of the Speed Timer have totalizers on them. Some of them have a totalizer at 12 o'clock and at 6 o'clock. The more common one, the 6139, is down here at 6 o'clock. This particular version does not have any totalizers on it, which is pretty rare. The other thing you might also notice is at the date, you have kanji. For those of you not familiar with kanji, it's Chinese characters, but in this particular case, it's a Japanese adaptation of Chinese characters that's used to tell day of the week. This particular one also does have English. And the way you actually change the day of the week is by pushing the crown in. There is a receded crown on the side. And pushing it in allows the quick set change of the day of the week. Pretty cool. I have it set to kanji, as I like the fact that this is a JDM watch, Japanese domestic market, and I'm in the process of learning Japanese, so I really appreciate the fact that it's unique in that aspect. This watch was never sold, to my understanding, in most markets outside of outside of Japan, such as like the United States or Europe. It's pretty rare outside of Asia, to my understanding. This particular watch I actually bought from the Philippines. Something else is pretty unique about this watch is it's a flyback. And what a flyback means is that traditional chronographs, you have to stop them and then you hit the button to reset it at the bottom. However, what a flyback allows you to do is you don't actually have to stop the chronograph to reset the second hand. So you can just reset it whenever you want, which is actually a pretty cool thing. And it's reasonably complex to carry out. So there aren't too many watches out there, let alone affordable watches, that have a flyback feature. There are some like Piguet Transatlantiques, I know, that have those, and some other high-end brands, but for a relatively affordable watch, especially at the time, to have a flyback feature is pretty rare. So it's, again, kind of cool. You can just reset it whenever you want. The chronograph uses what's called the vertical clutch system, which is also pretty unique, and consideration of the cost of this watch at the time and the fact that it's as old as it is. I could try to explain it to you, but I recommend you look it up instead. Vertical clutches are pretty cool. So that's kind of just a basic overview of this watch. Size-wise, it's 41 millimeters, roughly. Now, as you can see, the crown is receded, but to the edge of the pushers, it's about 41. I have it on a leather strap. It actually came on a aftermarket Seiko bracelet. It's really nasty, so I'm going to keep it on this leather strap. I think it makes the watch look better. And let me see if I can do a little bit of a wrist shot here. It's got a nice presence to it. Case back on it. Let's get it right side up, right? Seiko 7017-8000. I am surprised for a potentially JDM watch that has this much English on it, but I guess that's just the way they did it. Very, very cool watch. I love the fact that it's rare, or at least where I live in the world, and that I'm probably never going to see another one of these on somebody else's wrist. And the dial is actually black and orange, and as you can see, my strap is black and orange, so I did color coordinate them. But anyway, this is just something I recently acquired and thought it was pretty cool. The movement, I believe, is 21 joules. Mine was running a little quick. I just adjusted it. We'll see how well it keeps time. But these old Seikos are very well made, and a great bargain. You can pick one of these up on the low end in rough shape for about $100 and upwards of several $100s for a pretty decent example. When you think about the amount of complications and the build quality you're getting for the price, honestly, you're not going to do much better than this. You know, to think about the fact that you got a day-date flyback chronograph in that price range, it's just ridiculous. So for those of you that are looking for a really nice chronograph for not a lot of money, and I suspect these things are only going to appreciate in value, I can't promise that, but I would be very surprised if they don't. I would definitely get up on eBay and some other watch trading websites and find yourself a vintage Seiko chronograph. These things are pretty cool. And like I said, there's more common versions like the 6139 that's out there. There's also a bullhead version, which means the pushers are at these two top parts right here. Pretty cool. And you can get the dial in a multitude of configurations and colors, and some of them actually come on really cool original bracelets. Unfortunately, this one, the bracelet was already gone, and it's got this nasty thing anyway. But go take a look. I really think this is a really great watch that anybody should have in their collection. Thanks again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed my review, and stay tuned for more.